Okay, we've got a touch point coming up for grades in PowerTeacherPro. And where we're at this touch point is to be able to show for all grade levels a current grade in progress. For your 12th graders, this is already being calculated for you, and that's something we went through together in the last time that we talked about your PowerTeacherPro gradebook. But for your classes that are 9th through 11th graders, what you see, and I'm circling my mouse around this area, what you see here is just 2 dashed lines because we are not asking the program to calculate a current grade in progress for you. I've clicked in this cell, but obviously I could click through all the different cells for the students. Initially, when you're in your score sheet, that right window is closed, but I simply need to click in a cell to activate it. What you're being asked to do at this stage is to come over here and enter a grade in progress based on your professional judgment of how the student has done so far in their classwork. For any student that's receiving a D or an I for the class, you're also asked to enter a comment or update your existing comment to reflect where they are at this point in the course. All I would do, the how part of this is actually quite simple. I simply click in the cell and I record a grade in progress based on how we are assessing kids on our academic levels of achievement. Okay, so I'm simply going to click in there. Please know that as soon as you do click in there for those grades, and I've saved it, those grades do go live. So PowerSchool is a currently live document, so that is now live for the parent portal and student portal to see. When the touch point is over, and I don't know what the time frame involved in this is, but of course I can come in here and remove that grade and refresh it back to nothing so that that current grade does not live on once we start adding to that assessment. A couple frequently asked questions I've been getting is, am I able to essentially sort this data a little bit better so that I can see the grades I really need to see in order to make my professional judgment assessment for a student? In this score sheet view, there is not a lot of sorting that is available to you. Really, the only option is either to show them from least recent or the first ones that happened, and I can click here and I can show them from the most recent that I've entered into the system. So that's really the one change that you're able to make in terms of sorting this data. A couple other things that you could do, though, to help with that. I don't think that this filtering option is that great of a resource, but I'm going to show it to you in case it's helpful for anybody. But under assignment list, let me save my changes. You are able to filter. This is the one place where you are able to do filtering. Of course, what I don't necessarily see here is I don't necessarily see how the student did on each of these respective assignments. So again, I'm not sure that's the most helpful view. Second point that might be helpful at this point is if I click on this A+ grading and I go down to category totals. Everything changes to give me this view. So all I'm going to see are the different categories of assessments that I have and the average grade a student is earning in that category based on what I've entered so far. So this does become a bit more of a calculated grade for you, but it may assist you in your professional judgment. The last helpful tool I'll show you that might help you in this case is to actually run a report. So say, for example, your semester grade in progress is purely based on summatives, but this little bit of information here doesn't necessarily reflect everything you need to make a professional judgment. You want to see every individual summative, maybe from the ones they've done most recently, a string of progress, etc. So a report could show you that. If I come over here to the right side of my screen and I click on reports, and I go to an individual student report. There's a lot of different options that I can click here. Most of them are pretty logical for you. I'll show you the couple that I think could be impacted. For example, here, you've got 4 options to include for your sorting options. If, for example, you really only want to see their summatives and how they're doing, then I think it's relevant to sort it by category. And I've chosen to do the most recent ones first on the list in the report. And if I continue to scroll down, the next piece that I think is helpful is under data filters to check. These are all the different categories of homework of assessments that I have. And you can see here I've simply ticked to show me the summatives. Essentially what that's going to do is remove the other pieces of information from this report. And I'm going to go ahead and run this report now. What the program is going to do is generate a PDF file for me. And I'm going to come down here and click on this PDF report. And it's going to show me by student. And this is not, by the way, real information. I'm playing around in a semester 2 class, so don't worry about the live feature here. But you can see all I see here are the summative assignments and how they've done on each of those assignments. This score and possible points, if you're only grading on the letter grade, which we are mostly for 9th through 11th graders, this is going to be there. But as we've talked about in the past, that's pretty much data that you can ignore. It's that letter grade that you're really paying attention to. And I've got a page for each student in my class. And this is a PDF file that's now living in your downloads folder that you could go grab and use and have open as you're trying to make your professional judgment for each of your students in your class. So let me just go back to PowerTeacherPro to wrap up. How I got there again was under the reports and the individual student report. Okay, hope that's helpful information. Stop by and see us if you have any questions. Thanks.